Hey, I'm Ryan, and this is Get Your Mind Right. So, what I want to talk about today is overvaluing men and undervaluing yourself. Overvaluing something and undervaluing yourself can be a topic for so many things, but I'm going to make it specifically about men because I do see us women tend to do this a lot. I've done this before. I could actually remember the time in my life when I actually overvalued somebody and noticed how much I was undervaluing myself. All right, so let's just get into it. When you overvalue another human being, specifically a man, what tends to happen with us is that we tend to think that what he does is spectacular, right? Which it could be. Yet we overvalue it to the point that we then begin to undervalue ourselves. So, for example, say for instance, you're seeing a guy and he got his degrees, he has a great job, and you're just like, oh my God, this dude is a solid 10, right? And so, say for instance, you have like a little project that he could probably do too. Like, it's probably in his field. And so, what you would do is ask him for help, have him do whatever. And while he's doing whatever, you'll be telling yourself how much you can't do the said thing. You'll be telling yourself, oh, this is why I had to call upon him because I know I can't do it. I'm not capable of doing it. But the thing is, did you try? Did you even attempt to do it? Did you see that? Did you look at the project and say, oh, I can't do this. Let me ask him to do it because I know he has X, Y, and Z. So another way that I'm going to say for myself, I'm going to give the example where I knew I overvalued somebody. I was seeing a guy who I think he had 2 master's degree. His job was prestige, right? He got paid fairly well, but really he just had a prestige job. So if he says what he does, people are like, oh, really? Okay. So with that being said, I was back in school getting an associate's degree, right? So I automatically undervalued myself. I just automatically did that because I compared my education to his, right? And so one day I had to write a client. I had to write a client something basically saying that I couldn't work with them. And I've done this before, but for some odd reason with him in my life, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm not going to know what verbiage to use. I'm not going to know what wording to use. Let me ask him because he has all the degrees. Let me ask him. So when he did it for me, I was just like, Hercules. I was so happy, just egging him on, telling him, oh my God, you're so smart. Da, 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 da. And when I looked at it, I will never forget in my mind, I said, girl, you could have wrote this. You waited 3 days for him to do this. And you could have did this the day that the person wrote you. You could have just responded. Why did you make it seem like his response was going to be freaking gold? It was no different than what you said. So in that moment, that is when I realized I was overvaluing him. I really did. And that's when I realized how much not him, not anybody else, but me was putting myself down. How much I was undervaluing what I am capable of doing. So when I noticed I did that, I told him thank you, and I never again asked him for assistance without me seeing if I was capable of doing it first. Now, other times in real life, I've seen women that I know personally overvalue a man and undervalue their self. Was when a friend of mine was seeing a man and she makes really good income, like really, really good income. And she just put this man so high up on a pedestal that he just really couldn't do no wrong, even when he was doing wrong, dead ass in her face. And I remember her saying to me, like, she wants him to teach her how to make money. And I said to her, I'm like, but you have your own business. I mean, you know how to make money. You're not dumb. But she just kept putting this man up. Well, he know how to do this. And I was like, well, not to be funny, but you can always Google that. You can always get on Coursera. You could get on Udemy. It's so many places that you could go to get that same education. Why are you so stuck on him giving it to you? And so what ended up happening in her situation, I mean, a dude just dogged her out. And she stuck around because in her mind, she valued his education. She valued the type of work he did. But guess what? He never showed that type of valueship towards her. Something I also notice in these type of situations that when you overvalue men, like they know what you're doing. You will meet very few men, very few people that would turn around and say, you know, you can do this too. You're going to meet very few people that will honestly tell you, you could do the same thing I'm doing. When I meet people and, you know, I can tell that they genuinely like me. I could really genuinely tell that. And I'm talking about another woman, not a man. But they'll say, oh, Ryan, I want you to do this for me. And I'm like, oh, girl, I'll show you how I did it. And they're like, no, 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 I know you can do it. And I'm like, well, you know, I would do it, but I still want to show you how I did it because one day I may be busy. One day I might have to just tell you no. So I think it's best that, yes, I would do this part, but I want you to see how I'm doing it so you can be able to lean on yourself. You think anybody takes me up on that offer? No. But see, if I get crooked with it, if I get shady with it, right? Some people will say shady crooked. I don't think that's shady crooked. I think you just being human nature. But if I turn around and don't show you how to do it and just keep letting you think that you can't do it and keep boosting up my ego saying how much I can do it, then what? Then people say, oh, you shady. Oh, you this, that, and the third. But it's like, if this person wants to undervalue themselves, who am I to try to bring it up? Who am I to try to bring them up to the value that I know that they truly are? What do I gain if I do that? What do I lose if I do that? So as women, we have to really understand that you overvaluing this man, he doesn't look at you and say, oh my gosh, she believes in me. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. He doesn't think that. He assesses the situation that you're asking for help from. And depending on the way that you're acting, your over exaggeration of everything, that is when he says to himself, oh, this bitch is dumb. Oh, she fugazi. Oh, she's silly. Oh, she thinks I'm the man. And if she thinks that, I'm not going to tell her I'm not the man. When you overvalue a man and you undervalue yourself, specifically when you're asking for help or you're asking for an opinion, just like I'm a woman and I could sense when a woman is asking me a question, asking for my opinion, but I know that she really want me to tell her what to do. If you think men can't sense that, they can sense it faster than another woman can sense it with a woman. Men, as much as I like to crack jokes sometimes and say men are, you know, they don't know no better, they goofy. Men are highly intelligent creatures. I need you to get that through your head. Even the most meanest man you may meet knows that women are highly intelligent creatures. Both genders are highly intelligent. Neither one is smarter than the other. Now, one may be a little bit better in one area than the other, but we're literally equal. Just like a man could pick up something, a woman could make something quick. You know what I mean? So it's a balance still. So for you as a woman, because I know some women say to me, well, Ryan, that's bad of him. And then I have to remind them, have you never dated a man that you didn't really want to be with, but he treated you kind, so you kept around? Okay, that's shady then if you think about it. So hear me out when I'm trying to really explain this to you. Overvaluing people does not make them come back and say, You're overvaluing me. Put some value in yourself. That doesn't work like that all the time. I think out of 100%, you might meet 5% of people who will come back and say, hey, let me show you what I did. Hey, I want you to know that wasn't that difficult for me. I think you could do it too. I had a male friend, right? Once upon a time, we used to make cupcakes together. I know, crazy, right? We used to smoke some weed and make cupcakes together. And we used to make these cupcakes and pass them out to people because the cupcakes looked so beautiful and it tasted so good. So, one day I'm like, damn, dude, why do your cupcakes come out a little better than mine? He like, man, you doing the same thing I'm doing, right? We was making the cupcakes out the box using milk, right? I was using milk, right? So I'm at his house, we making the cupcakes. I'm making my batch, he's making his. I look over and I see him using water. So I'm like, why would he tell me to use milk, but he's using water with his? What's going on? So I stop him. I say, why would you tell me to use milk and you use water? And then he looked like this. He said, are you going to finish making the cupcakes or not? I said, wait, this whole time I've been thinking your cupcakes is special. I've been thinking that it's something wrong with me. But really, you telling me to use milk and you're using water. This is my good friend. This is my friend. He would beat another man's ass for me. He would buy me nice items. But guess what? Because I was always running around, your cupcakes taste better. You make the cupcakes better than me. He wasn't about to get off his high horse and say, let me show you, friend, what I've been really doing. Just add water. Don't do milk. I remember I had a female friend a long time ago, and she was very, very, very helpful, like hella helpful to people. And one day she was complaining about something, and I said, you need to really read the book 48 Laws of Power, which she didn't read. But she was complaining, and I told her, I said, you know what? You talk too much. You undervalue yourself, and you give so much of the game that people don't even respect you. You give so much of the game, you X yourself out of the equation because they don't need you no more. And when I told her that, she said, oh my God, I keep getting X'd out of stuff. It'll be my idea, Ryan, and then next thing you know, I'm out of it. People don't even freaking care about me anymore. I said, yeah, because you're undervaluing what you're presenting to the table and overvaluing the people that you present the information to. Little do you know, the people that you're overvaluing is no better than you, sometimes even less than you. You hear me? What I'm saying? So, ladies, you have to really understand what I mean by this. Stop overvaluing people. Specifically, stop overvaluing men. What it does to your self-esteem over time, it makes you feel like you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. He could do it better than me. I can't do it. Now, if it's for a tire change, okay, yes, call a man to do that. If it's for some plumbing, ask a professional. Ask a professional to assist you with that. But if it's something that you know is your day-to-day, but because now you got this man around, you about to give him something to do. I'm telling you, I've seen it with countless other women, the pain that it end up doing to your self-esteem over time. I seen it with myself with the guy with the 2 masters of those 3 days that I was waiting for him to do what I asked him to do. Those 3 days, my self-talk was, damn, I wish I could do that myself, but I can't. But thank God for him because I can't do it. That's all I kept telling myself for 3 days, to get something to read and say, oh my God, I could have did this myself. What the F? So if you're constantly dating men that you're constantly overvaluing, I could only imagine how you feel about yourself. I could only imagine the feelings that you have inside yourself of how you feel of yourself, because you're giving all the value, all the power to everyone else saying they can do it, you can't. And that is so detrimental to your self-esteem, because I'm trying to really get in your head that out of 100%, you may only have 5 to 10% of people that's going to say, baby, you can do this. Baby, you're overvaluing me. You could do this too. I know you could do this. I've seen that you could do this. I know you can. You just not believing in you. Ask yourself, would you do that really for a lot of people? Especially if it may X you out. So if you got, say for instance, you got a full garbage can in your house, right? You seeing a dude, oh, I can't lift this up, right? And you call up a dude and you like, oh, could you help me with this garbage? When you give people stupid ass, little ass tasks like that because you trying to do some feminine type of stuff, let me tell you what the man is thinking. He like, oh, all I gotta go do is help her move this little bitty ass item, and I guarantee you, I'm going to get brownie points for that. Brownie points is, like back in school, they put little points by your name of saying you doing good. That's what the man is saying to himself when a woman contacts him to do stupid ass little tasks. Because we as women, we'd say to ourselves, oh my God, girl, he came over here, he did X, Y, and Z. He really likes me. So the more that you stop and think before you make that call to ask for assistance, the more you stop and thinking before you make that call and you say, can I do this myself? Can I really do this myself? And okay, I'm just going to give him something to do because I just want to give him something to do. But I'm not going to give him 50 million points for doing something I know I can do myself. I'm just keeping him busy. That's totally different. But if you looking at something and you automatically just, I can't do it, I'm going to ask him. That you're overvaluing and you're undervaluing you. And I don't like to always be so matter of fact, but this is matter of fact. It's going to catch up on you. It's going to catch up on your self-esteem. And then you're going to be in a corner saying you can't do X, Y, and Z. When everybody knows you used to do X, Y, and Z with your hands tied behind your back. But because you needed to give this man something to do so bad, because you didn't clarify with yourself, oh, I can't really do this. I'm just doing this to give him something to do. Now you're once again back in that corner. I can't do this. I can't do this. I need to build up my self-esteem. No one values me. I give X, Y, and Z to everybody else, and no one gives it to me. Why should they? If you're not requesting it, why should they if you're not even showing them that you are valuable for it? I think I'm a really kind person. I think I'm very empathetic. Yet, when I meet men that put me so high up on that pedestal, you think I just get down and walk down and say, dude, don't do that. No, I sit my ass up there like this and say, what do you got to show me next? What do you don't got nothing to show me next? Let me get on my phone and see who can show me something next. So stop thinking that as a woman, we just sitting in a corner letting everybody dog us out. All women don't get down like that. A good portion of women know how to keep it moving, know how to value themselves, and know how to give a man something to do without it impacting their self-esteem, their own self-esteem, okay? So if you take anything from this video, stop overvaluing men and undervaluing yourself. When you overvalue men, you automatically undervalue yourself. You undervalue the things that you are capable of doing. You undervalue the things that you are sincerely capable of doing. And then you give that task to someone else who believes now They're overqualified. They're overvalued. And once again, it's a cycle, a circle. You gave them something to do, they accomplishment, you kiss their ass. Now you're back to yourself wondering, I can't do this. Let me ask him. And then eventually he's going to start taking his sweet ass time to do whatever you ask, right? And then you're going to be saying, he's taking too long. But I can't do it myself. I can't do it myself. So I have to wait. I have to wait. I have to do what he say. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it with older women, women in their 50s, 60s with their husbands. And it's really sad because you're like, it's just sad watching because that person that's undervaluing herself, they've came through for you before in life. So you like, damn, they so caught up with trying to make him be that man that they don't even know that they're chipping away at their own self. They're chipping away at their own self-esteem. So just stop. Stop overvaluing people. Stop overvaluing men specifically, because I do feel like when you overvalue men, it kind of hits your self-esteem a little bit harder than when you overvalue women. So just please hear me out on this one, because I've seen some people recently that was overvaluing men, and it was just sad listening to their story because they were determined to prove to me how valuable those men were, until I turned around and Googled that shit and YouTube that shit and showed them the answers. Bye. And remember, stop overvalue yourself and undervalue them.